All right, get ready because today we're going deep into the world of an amazing athlete, Sven. He's turning 55, and to celebrate, we're going to do a deep dive into his incredible journey. He really embodies what it means to push boundaries, and I can't wait to tell you guys about him.
I think what's so interesting about Sven is the variety of things he's accomplished. He's a competitive swimmer with a background that could have taken him to the Paralympics. Then he's also a long-distance enthusiast, and on top of all that, he's also the founder of the Warmduscher, a team that has over 150 participations in, get this, 24-hour swims.
24-hour swims. Okay, now you've got me hooked. I can barely handle a 30-minute lap session. Tell me more about this guy. Where do we even start?
Well, let's go back to 1990. That's when Sven started competitive swimming and quickly rose through the ranks in Germany. He joined the state team, competed nationally and internationally, and earned a whole bunch of impressive titles.
How impressive are we talking? Give me some highlights.
Well, he was a 30-time Württemberg champion and a 4-time German champion. He even won the title of International English champion. And then, to top it all off, he was a 3-time German team champion, a total powerhouse, right?
Yeah, wow. That's incredible. You mentioned the Paralympics earlier. Was that something he was aiming for?
Absolutely. He was on that path, but then, unfortunately, he got injured, and that stopped him from going to the 1996 Atlanta Paralympics. A tough break for any athlete, especially one with that much potential.
Oh, that's got to be hard. But it sounds like he didn't let that stop him.
No, not at all. He's totally dedicated to swimming. Sven continued to compete until 2007, training like crazy 5 to 8 times a week. I mean, that kind of commitment says a lot about his passion.
Okay, so we've got this super competitive swimmer who loves a challenge, but then in 2009, he starts the Warmduscher. Tell me about this team name. It's kind of intriguing.
It's as simple as it sounds. Warmduscher means someone who loves warm showers in German, and the name totally represents their love for that awesome feeling of a hot shower after a hard workout, especially after those tough 24-hour swims.
So they really go for that work hard, reward yourself philosophy. Speaking of 24-hour swims, is that really swimming nonstop for a whole day? I just can't imagine.
It's not about swimming constantly, but it's still this massive test of endurance. Think about the mental and physical strength you'd need to keep going for that long. They're dealing with exhaustion, maybe even pain, and the sheer willpower to push through hour after hour. It's mental just as much as it's physical.
Now I'm starting to understand what makes them unique. It's not just about being athletic. It's about pushing those limits and challenging yourself in a whole different way. But before we get into the details of the 24-hour swims, tell me about the Warmduscher themselves. How do they go from loving warm showers to becoming this force in endurance swimming?
Well, their growth has been amazing. What started as just a small group of friends who loved swimming and, those warm showers after, has become a community of over 350 members by 2022.
350 members. That's a pretty big deal in the endurance swimming world.
Yeah.
What do you think is behind that?
Well, I think it's a few things. There's the whole thing about pushing your limits, the feeling of being part of a team, and the whole Warmduscher philosophy. They're all about community and fair play and making everyone feel welcome. They're open to swimmers of all levels, and they celebrate every kilometer.
I like that. Okay, so back to those 24-hour swims. You said it's not about swimming nonstop. So what does it actually look like? How do they handle being in the pool for so long?
Think of it more like a marathon, carefully planned out. It's about pacing yourself, taking smart breaks, and being really careful about what you eat and drink. And remember how Sven talked about getting used to the pain? Well, dealing with that discomfort is a big part of it.
It's like a mental challenge just as much as a physical one. What kind of training do they do for that?
Exactly. They use different strategies like visualization and mindfulness stuff. Some even practice swimming in the middle of the night, when everyone else is asleep, to get used to those tough late-night hours during a real 24-hour event. And of course, the team is a huge support, right? Having teammates who understand what you're going through, both mentally and physically, is super helpful.
It sounds incredibly intense, both physically and mentally. But what do these swimmers get out of it? Is it just bragging rights, or is there something more to it?
Well, of course, feeling accomplished is a big motivator. I mean, imagine conquering a 24-hour swim. Most people wouldn't even think of trying it. But it goes beyond that. It's about pushing human limits, seeing how tough you are and proving to yourself that you can do more than you ever thought.
So it's like this test of your limits, both physically and mentally. And I bet the Warmduscher team spirit adds to that.
Yeah, totally. Remember, the Warmduscher philosophy is all about Gemeinschaft, which means community in German. Their success isn't just about one person winning, it's about everyone working together and achieving things as a team. They train together, they support each other, and they celebrate everyone's progress, no matter what skill level.
That's really cool. It's not about individual glory. It's about working together as a team and creating a real sense of belonging. So we've got the philosophy, the training, and the motivation. But I'm still curious about Sven and his own experiences with these 24-hour swims. What are some of the things he's done that really stand out?
All right, get ready to be impressed. Sven's personal best in a 24-hour swim is a crazy 44 kilometers. To put that into perspective, that's like swimming in the English Channel, but in a pool.
44 kilometers. Wow, that's amazing. And that's just his personal best. What else has he done?
He's also done a 50-hour swim where he covered 50.5 kilometers.
Hmm.
And then he did this multi-day swim in Meiningen where he swam an incredible 282 kilometers in open water over 24 days.
Wait, open water, so he doesn't just swim in pools.
No, not at all. Sven likes to mix it up. He was actually the first disabled person to swim across Lake Constance, which is an 11.5-kilometer crossing. And he's also swum across Lake Worth, which is 14 kilometers, and done a full lengthwise crossing of Lake Amersey, another 14 kilometers.
So we've got a competitive pool swimmer, an endurance champ, and an open water adventurer all in one. It's like he just loves pushing his limits in every way possible when it comes to swimming. What does Sven himself say about all this? What keeps him going?
Well, in his words, and this is a direct quote, "It's fascinating to participate in long-distance swimming events as part of the Warmduscher team." So it's not just about his own achievements. It's about the experience as a whole, the community, and pushing those limits together.
It really does seem like that team spirit is a huge part of the Warmduscher. But before we move on, let's talk about the records themselves. I mean, we've heard these amazing distances, but how do they stack up against the official records in 24-hour swimming?
Okay, so let's get into those records. Brace yourself for some seriously impressive numbers. The current women's world record, which is also the German record, is a mind-blowing 96.3 kilometers swum by Vera Niemeyer.
96.3 kilometers. That's like swimming from San Francisco to Monterey, but in a pool. Are there any Warmduschers who've gotten close to that?
Oh yeah, they've got some real stars. Cora Heidenreich reached an amazing 63 kilometers, and Sarah Dubiel's right behind her with 62 kilometers.
Wow, that's incredible. What about the men's records? Any Warmduscher holding those?
Actually, the German record for men's 24-hour swimming is held by a Warmduscher. Chris Pascal Hoffmann swam an unbelievable 94.55 kilometers.
The Warmduschers are really making a name for themselves in this sport. Any other notable achievements from the team?
For sure. Vasi Takidis, another Warmduscher, swam an awesome 72.5 kilometers. And as for the men's world record, that one belongs to Martin van der Weijden from the Netherlands. He swam a crazy 102.8 kilometers.
102.8 kilometers. That's almost the entire length of Lake Tahoe. It's hard to imagine the strength it takes to do something like that, both physically and mentally.
Yeah, it really shows what humans are capable of when it comes to endurance and resilience. And what's so cool about the Warmduscher is that they approach these challenges with, like, a sense of joy and camaraderie and inclusivity.
That's exactly what's so inspiring about Sven Eckert and the community he's built. They've taken this incredibly demanding sport and shown that it's not just about individual achievement. It's about pushing limits together, supporting each other, and creating a place where everyone belongs while they strive for something truly remarkable.
And it's obvious that people really connect with that approach. The team keeps growing, attracting swimmers at all levels who are drawn to this unique combination of challenge and community.
It's a true testament to the human spirit and the desire to push beyond what we think we're capable of. So to Sven Eckert, on your 55th birthday, we raise a glass or maybe a warm shower to you and the amazing community you've created.
Here's to many more kilometers, many more shared victories, and many more inspiring moments in the pool.
And to our listeners, if you're ever feeling inspired to push your own boundaries, remember Sven Eckert and the Warmduscher. You might surprise yourself with what you can achieve when you face a challenge with passion, perseverance, and a supportive community by your side.
And who knows, you might even find yourself loving those long, hot showers after a great workout.
That wraps up our deep dive into the world of Sven Eckert and the Warmduscher. We hope you enjoyed this look into the world of endurance swimming and the incredible people who are so passionate about it.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep pushing your limits, and keep diving deep.